How you doing? It's really good to see you. It's really good to see you. This is Merce Montez, Mercmontez. Now, before you click that stop button, I know you're going to watch about a minute, 30 seconds to 2 minutes. I encourage you to watch longer because this is going to be a good video. We're talking about how to become a nurse. I always talk about how to be a travel nurse, but today we're going to talk about how to become a nurse. LPN, of course, I need you to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, because it's good for my analytics and it's good for the algorithm on YouTube. Let's get into it.
I figure out you figure out me, we both a different breed.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Merce Montez, Mercmontez. As I said before, I'm glad you stayed. If you stayed, all right, so we're going to talk about how to become a nurse. And for this video specifically, it's about how to become a licensed practical nurse because that's what I am. So I hope you like the change of outfit. I'm trying to make it look more professional for you guys so you can, take the video seriously. I'm really trying to teach you something here. I'm really trying to educate you on what you need to do, what you need to know in terms of how to become an LPN. Now, as far as RN goes, if you want to see that, I have a couple of friends that are RNs that can chime in, if that's a video that you want to see. But just for today, we're going to do licensed practical nurse. So LPN stands for licensed practical nurse, as I mentioned. A couple things you're going to need to do before you get into the program is, of course, you got to have your admissions done. Of course, you want to look at financial aid. You want to see how you can afford to pay for it because some of the things you have to get can be expensive, like your uniforms, loads of books that you have to have, and etc. The list goes on, and you can get more into detail on that once you actually get into the program. You also need to look at your transcript. You got to get your transcript from your high school or wherever you're coming from, sent over to the college so they can look at that. In terms of TEAS tests, you want to take the TEAS as soon as possible, okay? My advice to you is to at least have a 70% or higher. That's pretty much a safe range. Some colleges want you to have a 72%. I actually only had a 79, but it worked for me. It was enough for me to get into this particular college and achieve what I needed to achieve. So I have my laptop here, and I also have a poster that I created, and I'm going to put that up for you right now. This poster, as you'll see, is about general core, and it also has the occupational courses. So this is what you need to have before you get into the program, and this is what you're going to be taking once you are in the program, okay? So first off, you've got to have fundamentals of English, 1010. You've also got to have your math, 1012, foundation of mathematics. You're going to have to take psychology, 1010, basic psychology. So for this particular program that I am using, this is also the college I went to, you only have 3 general core classes that you're going to need before you can actually get into the program or start taking those nursing related classes. So once you've done that, then we move on down to occupational courses. So now you're going to start taking structure and function of the human body, which is ALS 1011. You're going to have medical terminology, allied health sciences, obviously, 1090. And then after you do that, you're going to actually get into the program. So once you get into the program, assuming your TEAS test went well, assuming you got accepted into the program, these are the classes you're going to see in this particular LPN program. So you got to take PNSG, practical nursing, 2010, intro to pharmacology. Then you're going to take 2030, nursing fundamentals. And after that, you got 2035, nursing fundamentals and clinicals. And if you didn't know, clinicals is basically what you do when you go to a facility and you have to do a little work, so to speak. But you're getting graded and tested on how well you perform within the facilities you go to. But that's basically what we call clinicals. You're in a clinic. Just think about that for a little bit. It makes perfect sense. And you're gonna do this for every segment or every semester that you are in the nursing program. You're gonna have clinicals. So nursing fundamentals, Nursing Fundamental Clinicals, and then you got Med-Surg 1, Med-Surg 2, Med-Surg 3, Med-Surg 4, and then for each Med-Surg, you have Med-Surg Clinicals. So you got Med-Surg Clinicals 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'll say it does get pretty difficult. The further along the lines you get, it does get difficult. Now, what I don't advise you to do is work. I actually worked while I was in class or while I was going to school, very hard, but yet I did it. I feel like I was in a position to where I kind of had to work. You know, I needed a little bit of money, so I did work at a grocery store and I did work at the campus in the library. So those 2 and 2 were good for me. I don't advise you be full time at work. Granted, I was part time, so it wasn't that bad for me. It was manageable for me to do a little part time work, make a little money, and still come home to study. So if you got to work, you got to do what you got to do, but it's going to be tough, is what I'm trying to say. It's basically, it's going to be really tough to do it, but you can do it. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to get the computer down a little bit. All right, so you've got maternity clinicals. You've got nursing leadership clinicals. So that's pretty much the general core and occupational courses for this particular program that you're going to look forward to taking if LPN is what you want to do. After you take all these courses, I will say, let me kind of go back here. I will say when you are taking these courses, you need to have a 75 grade point average or higher. If you have lower than 75, that's considered failing. 75 is pretty much the cutoff grade at the end of each semester that you need to have in this particular program before you can move on. And if you don't have that, then you can't progress because you're technically failing. So, nursing school is pretty tough, man. It's pretty tough. So, but you definitely want to get your mind right. Get your head in a good space before you get into this. Because nursing needs all of your attention when you do get into the program. So now after you do all this good jazz, you've successfully made a 75 or higher, and you passed your courses, you're doing good, you're feeling good. Then comes the NCLEX. Now me personally, I did not study for the NCLEX. Only thing I did was, a bunch of practice questions. That's it. Because in my mind, I felt like everything that I needed to know for the test was already in my brain. Like I spent a year and some change learning all this nursing information. So I felt like the sooner the better. Like if I wait, well then yes, I probably would have had to take a study course or some type of preparation course before I took the NCLEX. But I didn't wait. I took it as soon as I could, which is why I felt like I didn't need to do too much preparation, because in my mind I felt like everything was going to start getting jumbled up. I already knew what I needed to know for the test. It was in my brain. I just had to train my mind to think like the test is going to test me in a way. Basically what I'm saying is, on that test that I took, it was mostly delegation questions. So, I needed to train my brain to think in a delegatory way, which is why I did a bunch of practice questions so I could do that. So I could understand how to take my NCLEX test, which is why, I passed it in 135 questions. Now, granted, people have done it in 85, 75, of course. But for me, I did it in 135. Maybe had I actually took a course, maybe I could have did it in 85 questions, but that's not the route I took. I just went ahead and took the test and, passed it in 135 questions. So, that's pretty much my story. Now, granted, before I got into the LPN program, I did 2 years at a university. So I actually didn't have to take the core at this technical college because the English, the math, and the psychology that I took at the university was actually a little bit too advanced for the technical college, which is why I didn't have to take it because, technically, if you've already taken, that type of advanced core, there's no need for me to repeat it at this in this program because, university, technical college, universities, you know what I'm saying. So, and also the anatomy and physiology 1 and 2 that I took at the university, that was also too advanced for this program. But see, this program, when you get into the LPN program, you have to take their structure and function of the human body. I had to take that because that's required before you start their program. So I had to take that, but as far as the other core classes, I didn't have to take. But I do plan on going back to finish mine because, you know, I think with the sciences have a certain shelf life. Some colleges require them to be no more than 5 years, some 6 years, some 8 years if you're actively working in the healthcare field. So that's pretty much it, you guys. Let's see. Let's do a recap. I told you about the T's. Is it biased? 70% or higher. I told you about it. You know, you're going to have to get your admission stuff straight, your transcript straight. You're going to have to get your financial aid straight. Understand how you're going to pay for it. It's not advised to work while you're going through the program, but if you got to do what you got to do, you got to do what you got to do. I told you about your general core, your occupational courses. I also mentioned about the NCLEX. I can still give you some jewels in terms of how you can prepare for the NCLEX. I do still have tips on that, even though I personally didn't take the course or a practice course for the test, and I still could give you tips if that's what you want to do. And see, I also told you that it's best to have a 75 or higher at the end of each semester, you know, preferably if you can, you know, make those B's, you know, and if you're just an elite student, you know, ace it, and then you don't have to worry about it. But that was pretty much my story. You know, I hope you guys enjoyed the information that I gave you. If you want more information, of course, I'm going to keep coming out with new videos and more videos and more videos. I'm going to keep doing that research so that you guys can come into the medical field, you'll come into the nursing field, and we love to have you. But you guys, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, of course. We're at 81 subscribers, you know, 19 away from 100. So don't forget to like it, you know. Don't forget to share it. Tell your friends about it. Tell your friends that there's a nurse on YouTube that's very helpful. I hope I am. And I'm trying to, you know, make this an enjoyable experience so that you guys can watch it to the end. Because that's what's important. You know, you want to not only be educated about nursing, but you also want to enjoy what you watch. So I'm trying to, you know, inculcate that. But all right, you guys, next video, stay tuned.